This is FYI, conversations with interesting people about fascinating projects happening in Ohio.
And I'm JT. Welcome to FYI. So nice to have you along today, talking with Nikki Stefano. Did I get that right?
It's actually Stefano.
But Stefano.
That's yeah, that's
okay.
I
felt it already, Nikki.
It's okay.
No, thank you.
Yes.
Executive Director for Family Youth Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get that right?
It is right, and we actually go by FYI all the time.
FYI, yes.
I
know, but my show is FYI.
I know, so it's perfect, right?
So confusing. I love it. Now, people do hear FYI Ohio on the air at Hope 100.7 and 93.7, The Light off and on. They hear that little thing whiz by in 30 seconds or 60 seconds. Today, we're going to learn the details about FYI Ohio. So,
great.
And you've also got a great event coming up we'll talk about in a little bit. But first of all, Nikki, the thumbnail version. I mean, what does Family Youth Initiative, what's FYI do? What's it about? Why should people care?
Well, we know that every day families are suffering from trauma caused by generational cycles of abuse and poverty. And our goal is to actually work with those families and help them to prevent that trauma from happening to start off with, and from just stop those cycles of things that are happening. And so we've got multiple programs where we come alongside with education, we come alongside with support, we come alongside just to encourage them where they're at in their lives. And so we've got our parenting network that works with parents. We've got our Real Life Choices program that actually goes into 7 counties and educates middle schoolers and high schoolers on at-risk behavior and setting healthy boundaries and having healthy relationships. We've got a mentoring program that is in 3 different school districts that is working with kids to give them a caring adult to listen to kids who are really struggling with coming back after COVID and just learning how to regulate their emotions and how to build friendships amongst each other in their classrooms and in their schools. And then we've even got a community garden that's out back here that has that grows over 2,000 pounds of produce every year for 2 local food pantries. And last year we added chickens, so for eggs. So
nice. I love that. Now, my wife, we call her the chicken lady at our farm, so okay. She'll love hearing that.
Okay.
What a great way to help people learn life, though. Chickens are great, honestly.
Okay.
I hear you. You're not the one out there working with them, are you?
No, I am not. No.
You need to get out more, Nikki. Okay.
No.
So you work with, it sounds like, I'm guessing, schools a fair amount, yes?
Or we work with
both.
We work with both. So, we believe that, families and students actually need to be empowered with tools to make changes that prevent trauma that are affecting multiple generations. So we're working with families in our parenting network. We're working with parents who are expecting and have little ones up through preschool. The mentoring program is working with elementary students and middle school students. Our Real Life program is working with middle school and high school students. So we kind of work with everybody all the way across the board.
Well, now I got an invitation about your event.
Yes.
And part of it talked about making good choices, which you've already talked about. Mm-hmm. And it talks about, hitting the snooze on the alarm as possibly not always being a great idea. Now, come on, I'm offended by that, but I get your point. I get your point. Mm-hmm. It's a choice we make. Let me see. I think someone said 30,000 choices a day, and you help us make good ones.
Yes, right. And it's, we make choices even without consciously thinking that we're making choices. So like the snooze button thing that we put in there, is about, we have a choice to hit the snooze button, but we also know that there's a consequence if we hit that snooze button. We could be late for work. And so a lot of times we think, we don't have a choice to hit that snooze button. We do. But a lot of times we go through the day and we're just making choices without even thinking about it. And unfortunately, a lot of times we don't know what's going on around us to make better choices or to figure out how we can actually get involved in things because we're not thinking conscientiously about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I one time had a mentor tell me when I was struggling with bad decisions, and he said, "You know what? You're doing what you want to do."
And
And
that
I'm like,
is
"No, no, no, I don't want
very
to." He said, "No, you choose every time." You
you
know,
do. You
so
do.
really a tough, tough truth, but you really do.
Mhm.
You choose what you
Yeah.
want, and it's tough making the
And
right choice sometimes. So,
it really is, and a lot of times we choose not to make a decision because we don't know where we're going, but even avoiding making a decision is still making a decision.
yeah,
There's still an outcome to that, to you not making a decision on anything.
yeah, yeah. Well, and
Mm,
speaking of, that's another, I was really inspired by your invitation that says complacency and the cost of doing nothing.
mhm.
That's really challenging there. That's challenging language. So that gets us a little bit to the event. So
Okay.
talk to me about the event. You're doing an event called Harvesting Hope.
Mhm.
Who's it for? Who should come?
Oh my gosh. Well, what I really want people to come is people who are interested in learning how to they can empower families and change lives. That's really who I want there. People who are interested in families and in students and helping breaking these generational cycles that are happening, helping prevent that trauma from happening. And I want them to come and see how they can get involved, how they
Yeah.
can be a part of that, and give them a purpose for something different.
Yeah, fun. Sounds like a great event. Sounds like an inspirational event. Sounds like we're going to hear some success stories. Yes.
Yes, you're going to hear some success stories, and you're going to hear some hard stories. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. We're going to share some of the things that real, actual stories that we have been dealing with clients and with students, and some of those you might want to bring your tissues for.
Ouch. Yeah. Well, no, that's real life, and I appreciate that.
Mhm,
I don't
mhm.
mean to overbuild success because sometimes success is a long journey. It's a long
It
journey.
is very much so. And that's one of the things I love about our programs because we are working with those parents. We don't have just like a 6-week program. We are working with parents for often 2 to 3 years in our program. So we're building a long-term relationship with them to continue being that support system for them and giving them the hope that they need. With our Real Life Choices program, we're with those kids over a 6-week period. And with some of those schools, we're in there all year round. So we're continuing to build those relationships with them. It's never a one and done because it does take time.
Yeah. Now, also in the invitation to your event, you talk about life changers. Now, I know uh, you have a group of special people you call life changers. Talk
Yes.
about them.
So our life changers are a group of people who have committed to make being our monthly donors to our organization to ensure that we are constantly meeting the needs that we're reaching all of the people that we need to reach. And they've made a commitment to do that monthly, and that's a monthly commitment of at least $50 a month that they're giving. And they want to just keep that consistency of our programming going. A lot of those life changers also come alongside of us and volunteer at different things that we do as well. So they're doing that too. But what we've discovered is that throughout our programming, that if you break it down in the budget, and numbers mean something, um, $50 a month can actually change one person's life. And so when we're looking at that, like if you're willing to give $50 a month, you can change that a life of a parent, you can change the life of a student. And ultimately, that doesn't just change that person's life, it has a ripple effect. So it can change generations of lives for that $50 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the really cool thing about when you make an improvement in your life, in your
Yes,
world, it really does affect others. We don't
absolutely.
always see that. We don't always know that, but that is oh so true. Yeah,
Mhm.
good challenge, Nikki. Good challenge. So,
Good.
um, Let me see. We've talked about who should come. Let's talk about where it is and when it is that folks need to register. All
Sure.
those
Yes.
things.
Okay, great. Well, it is held, it is going to be on October 3rd. It'll start at 5:30 that night, and it is being held at Grace Evangelical Lutheran Church, which is on St. Paris Pike in Springfield, Ohio. And I will say that if you've not been to this location, just a slight plug for their church. This church has actually added on a huge area to their church specifically for faith-based nonprofits to hold events. And they have an amazing team of people that also come in and help cater the event. The food is phenomenal. You do not want to miss the dessert bar. I just have to tell you that. Okay. So, registration is on our website, which is fyiohio.org. And there's a tab at the top that says Harvesting Hope registration. There is no cost for people to come to the event, but I do need to have them registered ahead of time so I can give those caterers a proper head count when they come in. And then we have sponsors that have been helping us to cover the cost of the event so that everything that is donated that night specifically goes to the mission of empowering families and providing hope.
So you're actually not charging a dime and you're going to feed us too.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that is so nice. Thank you. October 3rd, I have been to Grace Evangelical, and I have been in that room with the Boy Scouts, and you're right. What a wonderful place, and I love how they open up for the community. They do a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for putting this event together. The cost of doing nothing is this year's theme. I'm really challenged by that. How did that theme come about? Am I allowed to ask that? Is that a true
Sure.
or a long story, or did it just fall in your lap?
It's not really a long story. Honestly, it comes up a lot in different trainings that I have. We talk about that a lot. And, how do you get people involved? And I think we just don't realize, going back to those not making a decision is still making a decision. And so when we sit back and we do nothing and we let somebody else take care of the problem, we let somebody else do something about it, or we do nothing about it, then things just get worse. They don't get any better. And so we want to get people involved. And so it just kind of came about through some training, and it's not unique to us. A lot of people do talk about that, the cost of doing nothing. And so, but we just decided to really kind of focus in and drill down on that this year. And we'll have some statistics of things that are going on in the community, in the state, and things that are happening, because we have to really start stepping up and making a difference. Our future children depend on this.
Yeah. Back to the cost of doing nothing real quick. My short story would be when my kids were young, I was not I was not terribly athletic, and the kids were athletic. I didn't really want to coach. They asked for coaches. When I didn't volunteer to coach, wasn't always happy with the other people who coached. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, okay, I can't complain because they asked me if I wanted to coach. I'm all about positive encouragement. Now, not everyone else in the world is. Sometimes coaches yell and scream, and you know how life is.
That's right. Exactly.
And you know what? You can't complain about the coach if you were asked to coach and didn't. And so
that's right.
Sometimes you don't like the way it goes because you didn't get involved, and there is a cost of doing
That's
nothing.
right. That's right.
So then I actually did volunteer to coach as the kids grew up.
Well, that's
terrible
good.
coach, still a terrible coach, but we had a lot of fun.
And did you encourage them along the way, JT? Because I think that means more to those kids are going to remember that much more than how many games they won or lost. They're going to remember who invested time into them. And that's what our clients remember as well. They remember who gave them the time, who took the time to care about them and where they're at, and meet them where they're at. And that's it exactly. And we're always looking for new ideas.
Yep. Excellent. FYIOhio.com.
Org.
FYIOhio.org to register for this great event, Harvesting Hope with Family Youth Initiative. Nikki, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you October 3rd.
Sounds great. Thank you, JT.
Thank you.
Mhm.